our team, our community. This is Condors Town, and this is another Energy Condors connection. Now, here's Erik Fox and Ryan Holt.
An amazing Thursday morning, and welcome once again to another Energy Condors connection. My name is Erik Fox from Energy 95.3, the guy on the split screen. We're not in the same room, I promise. Is Ryan Holt downtown at Mechanics Bank Arena. How are you doing, sir?
Good. We got off the bus at 3:30 this morning, and here we are working. So, the fun never stops here in Condors Town.
So you got your 30 to 40 minutes of sleep. That's all you need.
2 hours on the bus. Sleeping on a chair back. Yeah, we're good. We're ready to roll. We're all professional.
Well, let's go and start like we always do. We talk about the parent team first. So let's talk about Edmonton. They had a great first start, but a couple really rough games. But not too bad. But you don't want to lose against Calgary.
Yeah. Anytime you lose to your hated rival, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth. They play Carolina tonight, so big test for them. Carolina's been good for the last couple of years. They're good again this year. Expected to kind of compete in the Eastern Conference, and I think for the Oilers, just a couple of bad starts here early on this year, but it's very early. I don't think they've seen their full potential come to fruition yet. I think it always takes a little bit for offenses to click. I think that's just human nature in hockey, and trying to get things going and get systems in place. So nobody's panicking, but certainly would like to see a good start tonight and see a really good hockey game.
I think last season kind of showed it. The start of the season really doesn't tell the story of the entire season. Where Edmonton was having a lot of struggles, but then clicked on all cylinders, and the team that I follow and get picked on about was doing really good, and then realized, we're the best.
You can't win the cup in October, but you can lose it. I think
True.
If you get off to if you tread water for the first 20 games, I don't think it's the end of the world. But if you start sinking early on, it's tough to make up points. Especially because you don't play as many. You don't play teams over and over. You only see them a couple times, so those games become magnified down the stretch. So points in October, November are just as crucial as March and April. But if you get off to a tough start, there's still plenty of runway to overcome it.
Well, what do they need to tighten up right now? What are they really putting their focus on? Which Jay really got under the microscope?
Yeah, I think 5-on-5 scoring, I think, has been a benchmark of Jay's teams, both in Bakersfield and in Edmonton, and it's been a little slow starting up in Edmonton right now with 5-on-5 scoring. And if you're going to play 90% of the game 5-on-5, you want to be able to dominate those minutes, and they should. I think they're still sorting some things out and finding some chemistry, and they put themselves behind the 8 ball here, the first 3-4 games of the year, where they've fallen behind early on in the first, and they're playing catch up throughout the course of the rest of the game. So they're not really asserting how they want to play over the course of the 60. They're kind of having to play other team styles. So look for a better start tonight, but not worried at all when they have the team that they have.
Let's go and jump to talking about our local Bakersfield Condor boys. It has been a 2-1 season so far. Loss on opening night versus Abbotsford in overtime. So we have points in all games.
Yep.
And all these games have been really close. They've only been 1-goal games.
Yeah, 1-goal games. I kind of jinxed it last night. I said, well, it's 2-goal game with 8 seconds left, and then all of a sudden, Henderson scored with a second left in the third. But I really like the way, I think last night was probably the team's best game, and I don't mean that in the sense of it was the best they've played. It was the first time kind of faced adversity. It was the first time that this team had fallen behind in the game. So midway through the second, team falls behind 2-1, and what do they do next? They fired off the next 10 shots and ended up scoring a goal in the last second of the second period to tie the game at 2. I think that was kind of indicative of the type of team that the Condors have. Is yes, is it pretty at all times right now? No, it's definitely not pretty at all times. But it's not a high-powered offense. It's not a team that's going to run and gun, but they're going to find ways to win hockey games. And I think right now the team, if I put a percentage on it, the team's probably at 80%. I think of what they're fully capable of when this roster comes to fruition. They're still missing Broberg. They're still missing Desharnais defensively. There's your top 2 defensemen. and you've only allowed 8 goals in 3 games. And then on the flip side, you're still missing Matthias Janmark up front, Raphael Lavoie, Carter Savoy. That's a whole line. Janmark's a 30 goal scorer in this league. And, so there's offensive weapons still out there, and the team's still performing pretty well. And you mentioned points in every game. We've only dropped 1 point out of 6. So really good start for the team. 2 wins on the road, and now we head to Tucson.
What kind of timeline are you thinking then before we get the full lineup back?
Yeah, hopefully by mid-November, I think is kind of what, everyone's kind of saying. Lavoie and Savoy and Broberg, they're all skating. So that's been great. Usually when you start skating and start, working your way back and, trying to find your way back in the lineup, that's kind of the way it goes. Desharnais might be in that timeline too. So, you never really are at 100% in this league. It always seems like anytime you get one back, you lose one or something like that. It's just the way, this works. But when you do have a good lineup, you need to make sure you win hockey games. And right now I would say, the Condors, we've seen 3 different teams, and, I don't think anybody was head and shoulders above Bakersfield. Do I think Ontario is going to be really good? Yes, I do. But the Condors went in there and picked up a big road win on Sunday.
Well, let's talk about it. You got off the bus at 3 a.m. this morning. You're about to get on a bus once again and head to Arizona. Double headers happening over in Tucson. What are we looking for this weekend?
Yeah, well, thankfully we'll be able to fly to Tucson, so we don't have to get on the 9-10 hour bus. We're out of that realm. But Tucson's home opener this weekend, and the Condors have kind of owned things in Tucson. I think it's points in 13 out of 14 games or something there, and I know it's different teams, different coaches, and different years, but just for whatever reason, that's been kind of the track record of this series with Tucson. Is Tucson wins in Bakersfield and Bakersfield wins in Tucson. For whatever reason, don't quote me on it, but it's just the way the stats kind of fall. But Tucson split with Henderson last week. They had a rough year last year. They've improved their goaltending. They have some young talent that's come in as well too. They added some veterans, so they should be an improved club from what we saw last year. A team that missed the playoffs. I would put them kind of in the firm playoff contender type team in the Pacific right now. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, always good to get there and enjoy some desert hockey in Arizona.
Plus, Holt's blog's going to have some eats out there, so it's going to happen that way. Yep.
We had quite the spread in Henderson at the M Resort. We had breakfast burritos rolling. It was a great time. Yeah, I enjoyed myself.
Well, it's going to be a blast, of course. On the road, you can't really see it at the arena. So, how can people check out the game while they're on the road?
Yeah, AHL TV. You can get it through the Condors app as well too. All the audio streams and video streams are all right there. And we're not home until November 2nd and 4th, coming up the first week in November, but we get plenty of things on sale. We get the Teddy Bear Toss 3-pack, get you into Teddy Bear Toss and Disney on Ice next week. So you want to get your tickets now because Disney on Ice is next week. So, the pack is included with Disney on Ice. So Why wouldn't you just get it now and get Disney on Ice next weekend? So looking forward to getting back home. But 2 more in Tucson, 1 more in Ontario, and then back home for just about all of November.
Love it. And of course, Aaron G's going to be out there next month as well. So I'm looking forward to spend some time in the booth with you as well. So once again, Condors, 2 games on the road this weekend. Go check it out. BakersfieldCondors.com. And Ryan Holt, always appreciate the time as always. We'll check it next Thursday. All right.
Thanks, Erik. Appreciate you.
It's been another edition of your Energy Condors Connection with your Bakersfield Condors and your friends here at Energy 95.3. We'll see you next week.